It feels like the Giants are trying to send a message to announce their presence and seeing if they can measure up. And it's manifesting itself in a lot of altercations in these joint practices.
I just retweeted out another camera angle of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear what starts that with Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Giving like a shiver to the face mask, and then he gets rocked.
Kirby
Joseph rocks him. I mean, first it's like just a shot to like the face mask, and then he wailed on him, and his head snapped back.
So why did Neighbors take a shot at Kirby Joseph to begin? And Joseph wasn't having it. Now that I see the angle that you just tweeted out, you can see all this at Doug Gator 971. Neighbors is running back to the huddle and just takes a swipe at Kirby Joseph.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure Kirby was jawing. I mean, these guys are jawing nonstop.
Ooh.
But that's not a reason to, react the way you do.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I mean, first of all, I think it's dumb when players take swings at other players with helmets on and guardian caps on top of the helmets. That's one. Number two, I don't care about the Giants. I don't like there's no discipline with the Lions here. I'm going to be honest with you. I know this is just practice, but in the game, if Kirby Joseph swings on a guy like this because he shoves him in the face mask, he's going to get tossed. And these fights have been happening a lot the last 2 days in practice. And I'm sure Kirby Joseph probably said something to Neighbors, and that's why Neighbors shoved him in the face mask. Leave it at that. Joseph's next move was to go down and track him down and start throwing punches.
So the thing about this is, again, as long as nobody gets hurt, Dan Campbell spoke about it today, and he said, look, everything you do here is evaluated. And if you do something in a game that hurts your team, it's part of your evaluation. And this stuff that's going on in practice is all part of your evaluation if you do something that hurts your team. I don't know that a 7-on-7 rep that concludes with a bit of a fight really hurts your team per se. But this is where you get into the old debate. Hey, man, you got to stand up for yourself. Nobody's going to push you around. Or do you just say, get the F out of here? You're the Giants. Right. We have bigger things. We have bigger goals than you taking a swipe at me in a practice rep in early August. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. Like, do you just ignore it? Do you just dismiss it? Or do you have to step up if somebody challenges you like Malik Neighbors went after Kirby Joseph?
I mean, it's practice. It's not a game, so there is a difference. But to Khang's point, you'd like to see more discipline. As long as they're disciplined in the game, this stuff doesn't really matter. But when you start throwing punches, it becomes troublesome because it's so easy to break a finger, to break a hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess easier to take if you're a defensive back. If you're a wide receiver, you have no business doing this. But if you're a defensive back, I mean, you're not that far removed from it. It's just so stupid to be throwing the punches. I don't mind a push and the shoving. When it gets to be like wrestling and to see if you can throw one guy on the ground and that's really, hey, look who won that, But this is getting a little out of hand. And if this is going to happen throughout the rest of practice today, it's just a distraction more than anything else because guys have to answer questions about it afterwards. You missed a couple of plays that you could have worked on because you're limited in how much time you have on the field. They're just missed opportunities, and this is just nothing but a distraction.
So overall, this to you is a bad thing.
I mean, I guess if I have to lean one way or the other, I'd lean towards you don't need this. This is unnecessary. But I don't think it's bad. You'd like to see it toned down a bit.
I'd rather have less of it. I think Campbell said at some point it gets to be a waste of everyone's time because you have to clear out the skirmish. You have to get them all set up again. You're wasting time. You're wasting reps. I think there's a fine line between standing up for yourself and also not letting someone else get under your skin so easily.
Yeah,
if the lines can be triggered this easily in practice, maybe is it going to carry over to the game?
I wonder. I mean, I don't think the NFL has any jurisdiction over this in terms of handing out fines or suspensions for practice fights. Teams, I think, can do that if they want to. That would put an end to it real quickly. The threat of that would probably do that. But I mean, like you watch the end of this one. And Devin Singletary is trying to square off with Lions, and he's throwing punches with one of the defensive backs. I mean, it's at the end of it. It's just at the end you get these dumb moves at the end, and just so stupid. What do you? I don't know what Malik Neighbors is doing. And I'm not sure why Kirby Joseph responds.
Kirby Joseph responds. I mean, he's like, I'm not putting up with that.
Yeah, it's like Malik Neighbors goes from, being covered very well on the play by Terry and Arnold. Probably salty about it. Maybe says something. Maybe Terry and Arnold said something to him. And he takes it from a 5 to a 7 with the little shove to Kirby Joseph. Then Kirby Joseph takes it to 12. Well beyond 10.
I'm going to go fanboy here for a second.
Yeah.
But one of my takeaways in this whole thing is F the Giants and your sorry Daniel Jones-led team. Like, seriously, you don't deserve to be on the field with the Lions right now. And all this stuff Neighbors is probably trying to set the tone for his career.
Neighbors is going to be the entire offense of the Giants this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's all they got. And he's really good. I think he's going to be really good. But other teams will take notice of this, and then they can get under his skin.